Good day, great day, everyone. It's your girl, Latanya with LRHH. Coming to you today is March 7th. You already know what it is. It's talking about role modeling, well, being a role model, I should say, and just providing you with the word and the word for the day. So today's word, it says, walk this way. Excuse me if I'm looking down. It says, when Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. That's John 8 and 12. And as I was sitting thinking about this, I was thinking that, because he lives in us and we in him, and he is the light of the world. And it says that he will be a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our pathway. I hope I'm saying that accurately. um but it's just like when we're in a place of darkness, he shines his light so that we're capable of seeing and knowing that he's always there in the midst, providing us with the light that we need to be capable of seeing the things that are around us, meaning having discernment. So having the light, or him shining his light, doesn't definitively mean that it's a light like a flashlight that's being shown, but it is to that effect. When you have discernment, the spirit of discernment, where you're capable of tapping into the anointing and recognizing that something is going on in the midst of where I am. Because of the spirit of discernment, you'll be capable of actually seeing and recognizing things in particular, as to what it is that's going on. That'll provide you with direction, that'll provide you with, comfort in the midst of what it is that you're going through. Because sometimes things get, or they seem to be, kind of hard, where you feel like you can't quite get through it, like it's just so hard, but you just got to tap in um, to who you are, and use the remembrance of who you are, to propel you into who it is that you are becoming, and not be afraid, and not have all of that stinking thinking that I'm not gonna make it. It's just too hard. It's so rough. It's taking too long, because I've been there myself, and I know that you can sometimes feel like I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, but you just gotta hang on in there sometimes. And I'm just gonna go on and read to you what it says here, so you'll have a great example, or an example, I should say, of what the writer meant when they said or wrote these words. The young mother had a serious accident and tore her Achilles tendon. Fortunately, the surgeon was able to repair her leg, but even after weeks of therapy, she still walked with a limp that was exaggerated when she had a long day. Remember what I said about being exhausted when you're going through, and you know that you have this particular anointing, this particular capacity of performing a thing or doing a thing. And you're just doing that. you know you have to remember who it is that you are, because she had surgery, and when it is that she had a long day, she would say, oh well, it's been a long day, and that limp would be exaggerated. And just as when we're in the moments of situations where we've been dealing with them for a long time, and you're at that point of frustration and you feeling like giving up, you can't give up. Remember, we don't give up, we get up. And because of her long day, she would exaggerate her limp, meaning that it looked worse than what it was when she had a mindset about being tired. She was exhausted from working so long. So we get exhausted with doing his will and doing what we're supposed to be doing as we're waiting on him to show up and work things out on our behalf. Sometimes we get exhausted in those moments, and we want to give up, but we don't give up, we get up. So with that being said, I'll just continue on. She had a young daughter, only 2 years old. And this is just talking about, being a model. You think about model and you would associate, modeling clothes, the latest gear, or you would think about a pair of shoes, just modeling. You would think about a runway, you would think about a fabulous show, so to speak, you know. So it says she had a young child, a young daughter, only 2 years old, right? Whose legs were completely healthy. She had no problems walking at all. But nevertheless, when the little girl walked with her mother, she walked with a limp too, an exact replica of her mother's gait. She wanted to be just like her mom, right? Role modeling, even when it looks bad. The child doesn't recognize that it's bad behavior. The child doesn't recognize that there's actually something going on there because they're not mature enough to perceive what's really going on, or even mature enough to be explained the concept of what happened, So you're modeling a thing. And because she had seen her mother limping for so long, as she walked with her, she began to limp too. Now, and copy her gait. Now, it could have been a couple of different things. The child could have said, well, I'm not just going to let my mama be limping around here by herself. I'm going to limp with her. We're going to get through this thing together, but at the same time, there was a space for the child to be corrected because there was no need for her to walk with a gait. She needed not to walk with a limp, because she had nothing wrong with her legs. She was perfectly fine. But because this is what she saw her mother do, she just saw her mother do it. And as she was looking at her mother, she saw her as a model, meaning whatever it was that she was doing, she looked at it as if it was a performance. And she wanted to do it just like she had done it. So because she saw her mother limping, due to her Achilles tendon being torn, she thought that she was supposed to limp too. Now, could you imagine being a little girl seeing your mom or someone going through something and you're thinking that it's okay, and she's modeling something and she may not know how to get out of it, but she's modeling it to you. And you just didn't, you didn't really recognize that that wasn't the accurate type of behavior. Excuse me for a moment. But as I was saying, excuse me for that. Our children see us, and people see us doing things in particular, and they may not even recognize that it's because of a ailment or a disease or just something that might have happened, out of the blue that wasn't expected. But because they see us doing it, sometimes they think that it's okay. Just like the little girl thought that her mother's limp was okay for her to remodel by limping herself when there was nothing even wrong with her legs. Her legs were working perfectly fine. But she saw her mother doing something, so she wanted to do that thing as well. So again, we have to be mindful when we are in motion, when we are around others who are perceiving us and watching us, which is usually all the time. Someone's always watching, you know. So because of that situation, we have to always be mindful and be aware of self and know that we are being the best us that no one else could be, and we're really putting forth an effort to be the change that we want to see and to be more effective as people, you know. So with that, I'm just going to keep on reading. It went on to say that your children want to be just like you, just as I said. They want to talk the way you talk and even walk the way that you walk, even though it may not be right. Just like the young men that we see walking around with their pants hanging down, excuse me for that. We see them with their pants hanging down halfway, to their ankles, and they thinking that it's okay, not really comprehending the connotation that comes behind that. Not to wipe or smear anything on anyone, but let's be real. I'm going to rip the bandage right on off, whether you like it or not. I'm just going to be real, all right? We see this, you know, and we see it consistently being modeled. And everybody thinks that it's okay. I understand that times have changed, but I'm not really going to get into that. I'm just using that as an example. All right. So don't, okay. Um, that might seem like a scary proposition, but God can help you be the kind of example your children need. Like, we are being the best us that no one else can be. So we're leading by example the best we know how. But sometimes, just a friendly, hey, how you doing? This is, you know, um, that is especially important when it comes to following Christ. You have to lead by example sometimes. You don't really want to be the example. Sometimes, God will call you, the Most High will call you, and you be thinking, well, God, where the rest of the crew at? Who with me? I got to go by myself. Oh my goodness. But sometimes you just got to do the best that you can do. And when you know that you're doing something that's inadequate or incorrect, that you wouldn't really want to see your child doing, that you wouldn't really want to see your niece doing, your nephew doing, someone close to you doing, then you want to try and correct that with yourself so that they don't see that type of behavior and they don't think that it's okay. We're all a work in progress. We all under construction. We all under the construction of the Most High. You know what I'm talking about? Because seriously speaking, I really did. I promise you, I wrote a poem maybe about, oh my goodness, at least 5 years ago. And it was called Under Construction. And I was just writing about how I felt like, the Most High had me in a space of reconstructioning, my hangups, my faults, accepting myself, all of these different things. I was in this space. And in that moment, I had no other choice but to acknowledge the space that I was in and really begin to look at myself and evaluate myself to see what I was doing and, how I could really become a better version of myself. Not just for me, but for the people who were around me, who were watching me all the time. And it looked, people look up to you. So, people watch you because they admire you. Sometimes it's from afar and sometimes you can recognize it. But, people see you and they admire you and want to be like you and different things like that. But I promise you, I was just thinking to myself, I'm under construction. I want to be the best example that I can be. I want to be the best me that I can be, Most High, because I'm after your heart. In all honesty, I'm just gonna be transparent here for a moment because I know me myself. I've been in some spaces, in some places, that's been, uncomfortable. And, when you reach a certain point in adulthood, and even as you grow as a teenager, as you reach certain points, you become more aware of yourself and you kind of look around and say, okay, well, I want to be the best version of me. So how can I actually do that? Why am I getting so angry? Why am I, doing this thing? Let me work on this particular thing. So because, we see things that other people do. And sometimes because they might make it look so good, we believe that we want to do it too. And on that note, I'll just say that, everybody's gifts and talents ain't, you have to be careful about what it is that you're asking for. But to say the least, we're role models when we don't even know that we're being role models, when we don't even, we're not even trying to be a role model, but somebody's watching and, somebody is gonna look at you and say, well, okay, I can do better, you know. So we all need to be mindful that, people are watching, especially our children, and we are modeling our lives, whether we like it or not. If you don't go nowhere but to the mailbox, we're modeling our lives. The moment you leave from, waking up and getting up and get your day going, whoever sees you, you're modeling your life. You're modeling yourself. So you have to be mindful because there are children watching, and we know that there has been, a lot of different things that really need to change. So, we have to be mindful again. And, we're role models, whether we want to be role models or not. Don't get me wrong. I have to check myself sometimes too. Like, wait a minute. Are you serious right now? You know? So it's just about being present in the moment and being aware, awake, and alert of yourself. You know, you can do it. I've been having a rough time myself, but just breathe through it. You can do it. You got it. You know who you are. You know you're capable. You know if you need help, you know who to, at the different locations that you need to visit and do whatever it is that you need to do. You know how to do that. You know, and once you do that, it's going to feel amazing. So yeah, we are role models. Whether we want to be a role model or not, we're role models. Like we really are. you know. So I just wanted to say that before, you know, it's been an amazing day. I got a lot of things done today. I set my goals and I achieved the goals that I set forth for myself on today. And I am proud of myself. Let me give myself a pat on the back because I deserve that. Latanya, you are amazing. Yes. So, again, we are role models and you can accomplish whatever it is that you set to accomplish for yourself. You know, I am a at 3 with me girl, so I am running towards being a completionist. Do you hear me? I am running towards being a completionist. I want to hear well done, you know. So, again, we are role models, whether we want to be or not. And we can accomplish whatever it is, whatever goal it is that we set for ourselves. We can definitively accomplish those things. And, there is support that is available to you if you need it, you know. So I'm just going to leave that right there. I don't want to talk too much. I'm going to leave that right there. It's your girl, Latanya, with Latanya Roche Healing Hands. I hope y'all have an amazing evening. All right. Love, peace, and prosperity too. Signing off.